What's going on, people on the internet? Yes, we're starting early. It's going to be a very, very different kind of stream today. Very different because we're going to address the boogeyman in the room. One of the reasons so many people cannot be successful is they got bills. Well, I guess that's not really the big boogeyman in the room, but it's something that we're going to start addressing on a much larger level than before. Because here's the thing, before you can start a business, you got to balance out. And what I mean by that is, and I don't think, I thought I addressed it, but part of the problem is so many people are trying to escape misery and make money. I mean, it's just the craziest thing because, all right, you want to start this business, right? You're getting ready to roll it out, but you got to pay your rent. I'm going to give you a great example of this. I had someone that used to work for me, and it was the issue. Now, person got an offer letter, right? Didn't like the money, should have said something then. But later on, like 6 weeks later, it was like, well, this isn't enough money. I'm like, you signed off on the offer letter. I mean, your time to speak your piece was then, right? Well, it didn't happen like that, and drama ensued. But my people, my folks, if you want to really start to grow as a person, grow your income, grow your business, you can't just do 8 hours. You can't do your 8 hours and everything comes off that. It's just not going to happen. And I mean, like in my recent video, I was talking about the latent socialist because you cannot be talking about coming out here and completing in the marketplace and be talking about benefit plans as a business owner, getting things going. It's just, no, it's not going to work. And we're going to go through this recession. This thing is about to drop in probably 18, 22 months. And in certain sectors, it's already here. So it's not really prudent to just be throwing away money that you don't have to. But how do you balance out? And for those of you who want to be part of something that's going to be really, really different, is Hustle Camp. Links below. There's a lot of details. I know I'll have more people asking questions, but essentially, the first part of Hustle Camp is going to be about balancing out because, give you an example. I don't have a car note. I don't have credit card payments. I've got one business thing going on right now, and I have one credit card I use for everything, and I pay it off. Not even at the end of the month. I pay it off like every week. So from a cash flow standpoint, I'm really good, and I'm going to keep it that way. But that seems rare because I talk to people, and I was having this conversation with another guy last night who was saying that he could not, I'm going to read the comments to you. I'm going to read them to you. That we were talking. I'm not going to say his name because you could Google him, but you got to get to that point because if you're trying to start a business and you're so stressed working on just living, just thriving, right? I'm going to read this comments to you. Let's see what he says. I'm going to have to go to two places. But essentially, he was talking about how, he's really successful. He's not even 30. He does 7, probably 8 figures a year. And people are treating him a little different because he's successful. And it's like, yeah, I've been, let's see. Saw your comment on Blank's post. Man, all you have to do is be successful for people to act differently towards you. I know it seems like everyone is marketing online, but the truth is we're talking about 2,000 to 3,000 people who do over 6 figures. That's reality. 2,000 to 3,000 people consistently as marketers. This is really a small group. Even if it doubles next year, it's still small. And all I'm saying is stuff seems like witchcraft to other mortals. Yeah, man, I've been thinking a lot about it. It's a generational thing, maybe. Facebook came out when I was in high school, so almost all my friends there are people I grew up with and went to college with or just randomly met somewhere. So they see me doing my grind and they hate it. But everyone I met in the last 5 years through Clear Stuff, they've all stoked about, essentially meeting more business owners, more people who are out there chasing it. If you getting your success, you don't belittle someone else for getting theirs. And, some other stuff that we got into. And I've been loving your post about the recession. Boom, boom, boom. So, it's people doing well promotes hate. And then this guy doesn't like brag, but, because we're friends and I see his stuff. And it's like really low key and people still hating. All right, let's go in the chat room. What's up, Lamode? What's up, Robert? You've got the best topics. Oh, thank you. There's going to be some more stuff. What's up, Matthew? What's up, Leslie? What's up, Chris? Going this credit course was awesome. Thanks. What's up, Mr. Compensation? Doyonk. Balance is hard when starting out. I'm going to address that because that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about work-life balance. Nope. From the 400 to the 700. Oh, that was just grinding. Need those tactics. I haven't really been doing a lot of live videos, Ronce. What's up, Cody? What's up, Robert? AKB Beats. What's up, Power Breakdown? All right, so we're going to go up here to Donnie K. I don't know what it is. All right, when I'm talking about balancing out, I'm not talking about some work-life balance. Okay, from me to you, y'all need to let that go. Here's some, let's say you were 35 or under, you're single, not married, have no kids, and you're looking to balance. What are you trying to balance out? No, there is no balance out. Year 1 to 3, your nuts should be the ball nut next to the wall. If someone dies, go to the funeral. If someone getting married, go to the wedding. If you got to go visit a sick relative, do that. This is not stuff that happens every day. But if your ideal of life balance is every weekend getting drunk, hanging out at the bar, talking about how bad your life is and shit you want to do, clearly you're missing the boat. When I say balance out, I'm talking about balance out your money, balance out your cash flow. Get to the point, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. You might need to go out and get yourself a $3,000 car. If you're real about starting the business, you may have to do things like that to free yourself up, to balance out your money and to balance out your bandwidth, your mental bandwidth. Because if all your mental bandwidth is going towards surviving, it's pretty damn hard to thrive. And that's where a lot of people are. And that's what I'm going to do with Hustle Camp. We're going to balance out some stuff. Number one, you're going to have a main hustle, which is going to be your anchor income. You're going to have 2 satellite hustles. And we're going to talk about things you need to do to make these happen. Like, so just to be clear, just not to have anyone coming in with bad expectations, you will not be watching television. Like I said, you got a girlfriend, you got kids, you got family, whatever, you got to handle that. But you need to be busy because you cannot call yourself a hustler if you are struggling. I see people who are broke. I'm a hustler. No, you're not. You'll want to be, because if you're really hustling, you would not be broke. That's how that math works. And a lot of people don't get that. Let me see. What's up, Irvin? See, that's another thing. Like, I don't know your situation, Irvin, but a lot of people, they're trying to turn the new thing into the everything. You start this business and it covers your all of your expenses. It pays your car note, all that stuff. I want you to think of your enterprise as a baby. Everyone here who's up here has been a baby, and everyone has to go through these same steps. You had to learn how to eat by yourself. You had to learn how to go to the bathroom by yourself. You had to learn how to walk. You had to learn how to talk. Your business is in that same situation, and it cannot support you in the beginning. Going back to Donnie K, that there is no balance with that business. That business is like a baby who eats like every 2 to 6 hours, and that's what you got to do. And that baby eats cash and attention, and you got to feed it. So what you have to do is create an anchor hustle so you can pay your bills. Once again, compress all of your expenses. You don't want to be having crazy credit card debt. Like, you got student loans, credit card debt, you're kind of stuck. You got to pay that stuff off. But the thing is, you got to be aware of your circumstances and situation. A lot of people are not really aware of just what deep doo-doo they are in when they're trying to start a business with all of this baggage. And yeah, bills are baggage. Let's see. AKWB, thanks. It's my first time selling something over $100. Really? What are you selling, AKW Beats? I mean, that's the thing, because so many people, and one of the things that we will address is the psychological effects of being poor. Being poor in these United States of America is one of the most expensive things you can do. Everything you do has an opportunity cost. If you don't have a car, you got to ride the bus. So if I go do this and I can't do this other stuff, if I take this job, I can't get this job. That is the expense of being poor. And it is huge. It is a huge opportunity cost. And it's a huge emotional toll. Because first thing we're going to get into Hustle Camp is the mind of a hustler. Now, I'm going to get into some stuff, not to be overly political. I don't have the video up because one of the things about YouTube channels, you need to keep your content congruent. And I had this video. I'm going to put it up again. It's just not going to be on this channel. It's called I'm Not a Minority. I just don't see myself as a minority. I don't act like a minority. I don't look at, I don't get mad when it's like, ooh, what they're doing to those minorities. I'll be like, what are they doing to those other people? I mean, straight up, I got more privileges than most white dudes. I have the opportunity and the ability to give people jobs. Most white dudes can't do that. Most people can't do that. Think about that. So as you build your business and open up the door where you can create jobs, you become very demigod-like. And everybody's like running from that. Matthew, how do you balance out a job that sucks up 65 hours a week? You're going to have to make some decisions. Matthew, you're going to have to make a hard decision. Is your dream worth you giving up that job and getting a part-time job in the hustle? Now, I'm telling you to quit your job. I'm telling you to opportunity cost it out and figure out a way where you can get your bills handled while you build your business. Oh, okay. Rap instrumentals. That's hot. Congratulations. Student loans could tank your credit reports. Oh, I have a theory on credit, but I'll talk about that later. Make a commitment to growth. I mean, seriously, you do. Beat listing among music promotion services. Cool. Now, the next thing that you have to do is really get real about the timeline, because this is the thing that just it kills people. And I know you see it on Facebook. I know you see it on YouTube. Here's this guy or there's this girl, and 6 months ago, they were just like you. Life wasn't good. Then they found this magic jelly bean, and now they have a Bentley and a Learjet. Okay. It's really bad because I know some of these people, and it made me have to reorientate my business, because if you notice, I don't really participate in joint venture, and I'm not buddy with a lot of people because I have my opinions. These are not valid. Well, they're valid to me. I have my opinions that a lot of people are not true business people. I have my opinion that if their Facebook ad thing goes away or something else happens, they could not compete. Now, if you're building a business, and this is something we'll address later on in B School for Hustlers, you want to segment your risk in terms of customers and income. Years and years ago, when we had the shit with eBay, we were like 75% of our income came from eBay. So when that shit went sideways, it was a heavy 6 weeks until I could figure something else out. So if you're building a real business, you want to also control your income, meaning like you don't want one customer that's 90% of your income or 100% of your income. That's dangerous. You keep that customer, but you amp up, do whatever you need to do where you can get more. So yeah, I mean, this is what's balancing out is, because I don't think anyone's ever said this, but so many people are not from a position of intellect, not from a position of mindset or talent. That's not it. They're just so stressed out living life that they're just in no position to start a business. That's the killer. Grateful I could exist to watch the hustle legend today. Oh, that's funny. Thanks. BTD creator. Oh no, seriously. I'm going to walk you through what I went through, and I'm going to give you time frames. I was working jobs. I had multiple jobs. I was always the person to have a full-time job and a part-time job. I got to a situation where I got thrown out of the system due to some relationship issues, divorce, and I was working a bunch of bull time because that's really, I always wanted to have my own business, and I tried, but it didn't work out, and I tried and it didn't work out. Then when I got to a point where I really had nothing to lose, that's when I started to escalate. That's when I started to make more money. Then I kept jobs because I did not know how to run a business. So I got jobs that enabled me to learn how to run a business. And this was almost a 3-year journey of me doing this. So I did not go from the dude in the boarding house to having my own $1 million business in a few weeks or a few months. It was years. It was years. And then I did the storage auction thing. Then I let that go. Then I came here and rose up because sales and marketing skills. This was not an overnight thing. And one of the things I had to learn is I had to learn how to save. Now, this isn't saving to be the millionaire next door hero, and this isn't about investments. And no. You need to have some attitude money. Now, here's the thing. The broker you are, the smaller that number can be. If you have absolutely no money in savings, 3 to 5 G's could be life-changing because that's where you are. You don't need, because I hear this thing like 6 to 12 months living expenses in the bank. Here, you don't ever want to be in a situation where you got to run through your savings like that. The money will disappear so fast. You want to have whatever you are. Let's say you make $25,000 a year. You need to have 3 to 5 G's stashed away. If you make 50 G's, you need to have, like I said, maybe 5 to 7. Now, once again, let's talk about the lifestyle. If your car is paid off, that means you don't have monthly car payments. You can tag that money to go into a savings account. There's a lot of ways you can play it, but you need like 5 to 10 grand that you can get your hands on cash. Virtually everybody. So that's the first hurdle. Because if your checking account is like a launch pad, money comes in and it's like springs out, you're always stressed. You can't take a moment because, as being a creative person, I got rid of one client and I'm getting ready to finish up with another one because my creative process was just gone because there was so many things going on. And I got rid of the ones that were really the most demanding, time heavy. So now, if you notice, the videos have gotten better because I actually have the bandwidth. And this is what I'm talking about, balancing out. If you are broke, you're always chasing money. You can't be creative. You can be clever, but it's hard to be creative. And that's a big thing that holds a lot of people back. It really do, because let's talk about the kids. You see them all over social media. This 15-year-old, this 16-year-old, this someone in their early 20s. Now, let's look at how they were living. They were on their parents' health insurance, most of them. They didn't have to pay the mortgage. They didn't have to buy food. And they had a lot of free time. You're not in that position as an adult who's moved out the house and you have your own place. You're just not. And you can't really compare and contrast yourself to those people. And that's what many, many people do. But it gets to be interesting. Now, I had to balance out. And then I got to this certain point when we went through all of that stuff. I'm not going to go into the whole details of the storage auction thing. But I had well over $300,000 in the bank. It was pretty easy for me to say, hey, I'm going to take 2 years and I'm going to work on this writing thing, because I had worked my ass off 10, 12, and I thought I owed it to myself before I took that dirt nap, right? And it worked out for me. So I, through hard work, 10-hour, 12-hour days, positioned myself to start another business from scratch with my own money. It didn't happen overnight. It wasn't a loan. It took years to have that kind of money saved up. Plus, I had other stuff going on. But once again, I had no debt. I didn't have any car payments. I didn't have any crazy expenses. This is what's killing people. When I see Facebook, and I'm not mentioning names, when someone's like, hey, I can't start a business, but I didn't see them buying $2,000, $3,000 in clothes. That money is the money. That money could start a business. Or could have got a really good hustle going. Same money that was spent on a few articles of clothing. I'm not judging. I'm just observing and stating what I see. Chris McDonald, poverty kills their cognition, common sense, internal system. There's a lot of studies. There's too many to even broach on in this live stream where, you know, I don't even have to go to the study. I can tell you what my life was like. I was living in a boarding house. I didn't have a car. I had to ride the bus. This is how I know how that bus thing will make, because it was so hard for me to keep two jobs because the bus wouldn't make you late. You know, you be out there on time, and then it will be late or it will be early, and then you had to go 40 minutes to an hour and a half out of your way to get to certain places. It was horrible. So you had that stress. Then you just never had enough critical mass to escape. It's like a trap. I never knew, but I believe it. What are you talking about? The thing is, you got now. One of the things is hormone disruptions. Oh, it's big. It's big because one of the things is, and especially with men, black men, and now white men. And I know people are like, no. Trust me, that's why they showed up for Trump so big. Right now, you have a bunch of people who can't understand why their life is not as good as they thought it should be. They work hard. They made the right decisions. They got educated. Did all that good stuff. Yet, they're still living with their parents. Then they see someone like me here on YouTube who I dropped out my junior year. I chose homelessness versus moving in with my mom. And they're like, how the fuck? It's got to be a scam. He's doing something wrong or illegal because I'm smart. I've college done. Good person done. Checked all those boxes. Yet it makes no sense unless he's doing something wrong. This is where people are because we as a society we've gotten away from some core things. Like everybody here who grew up in the house were on Sunday paper, you know, when the Sunday paper was like that big and you go get it and everybody would like read. Well, this is what we did in my house. We get the paper and people would get mad if certain sections were not read before they read those sections. And like literally 2 or 3 hours to be reading the newspaper, reading editorials. William Raspberry. I knew about, he's a black conservative. I can see his face. Thomas Sowell. He's been writing for decades. I knew about him as a kid. And we don't have that type of intellectualism and appreciation for education and being studious. AKWB, so I'm learning how to balance too. My job had a layoff a few weeks ago. That was real fucking wake up call. That's what put me on this path. I got laid off 3 times in 18 months. The 3rd time I couldn't take it no more. What's up, Coach Maine? Oh, Chris, talking about these killing sprees. Recently here in Atlanta, we had a homeless veteran, Marine, go in the bank with a bomb. And his statement was he was just concerned with what's happening with vets. You know what that is, and they're not calling it that. It's called domestic terrorism. We're going to have a lot of domestic terrorism. While people are worrying about ISIS and Al-Qaeda, we have so many ticking time bombs, homegrown, not affiliated with any of that Islam stuff, who are just waiting for the right set of circumstances to snap. But no one's talking about that because one of the things, like, you know, I'm saying this thing is about the recession that's coming, and I'll give you a few signals that I see. First signal was 30-40% of millennials were living with their parents. Another signal was hundreds of retail stores are closing. Whole Foods got bought by Amazon at distressed pricing because of their debt. True Religion filed bankruptcy. Nasty Gal filed bankruptcy. Unemployment numbers are low. Housing prices in certain cities is ridiculous. This is causing the snap because when you have a huge segment of people who can't afford these housing prices, but these housing prices keep going up and up and up, something's got to give. So it gets real interesting. Ganji88. I came across Soul and he said stuff that I somewhat knew, but I'll stop talking about it since this video came right time for me. Lamar Lewis, Cameron, let me hold some. You know what, Lamar, I'm going to let you hold some knowledge. What you can do is go under this video And there's four ways that you can get in hustlers camp. You got the $99 way, the $200 way, the $300 way, and the $900 way. Right below this live stream, go ahead and grab yourself. Because see, what I'm gonna let you hold can actually feed you for the rest of your life. So I am letting you hold something. Coach Man, you're probably the first person other than me who sees this. I mean, what helped me, and I didn't realize it the first time, 2006, the demographics of my store changed. It was mostly, what I like to call garage sale hounds. These people who just like looking for, thrifters. What was another thing? Thrifters. What was the other term? I can't even think of, I forget the name of these people who just buy stuff and flip it to stores. But long story short, my demographics became extremely white. White, college educated, middle class people were coming into my thrift store. They weren't coming because they wanted to. They were coming because their money had dictated that they had to come. So you're seeing a lot of that. And I didn't know what was happening because I was just sitting there and I would tell my brother, I was like, "Okay, like 15 white people came in here from Craigslist today. Like, one was from Cobb. We used to talk about this stuff because why did these people come to the store? What marketing we would get? Why were they buying what they were buying? All these questions. It was real interesting. The Nigerian doctor had a bankruptcy on his credit and med school issues. Who's the Nigerian doctor? Coach May, people are no longer buying hype because one of the things with this break, and all of this ties in because I'm going to give you a little education about healthcare. And when these Congress people went home, they avoided their town halls because healthcare is not going to get any cheaper. It's actually going to get more expensive, and probably at some point in the future we'll be able to balance that out, but it's not going down. And people are jumping on. I mean, you see the clips, and you don't see them on mainstream media. You have to go to certain things. Like this one guy said, my wife had cancer and she beat it. But because of what you're doing, if she gets cancer again, she may die. You're out in 2000. I mean, these people are saying, you're fired. I'm voting against you. I'm creating coalitions. But you're not seeing that on MSNBC, CNN, or even Fox News because the level of citizen activism is growing. I think the 2018 elections and the 2020 election are going to be even more historical than the last two. Thanks, Chris. What's up? Oh, well, you hope what's not going to happen, Robert? Oh, Gabran. Yeah, I'm like, now Gabran just bought, and I don't know if you saw the stream, but you're going to get Hustle Camp, so you don't have to pay for it. But like 30 days to 2,500. One of the things I'm doing, and one of the reasons I'm having this stream is people are trying to create businesses before there is a foundation that can support the processes of creating the business. And I'm not talking about loans. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about your personal life is just jacked, and it's going to make it very hard. No, it wasn't called Jobbers. I forget the name of it. It was something. I forget the name. All right, good deal. Not microwave hustlers. No, there was this thing where these guys would go buy stuff and they would flip it. I forget the name. Chris Donald, I'm seeing dollar stores pop up around middle-class white areas, even near Whole Food stores. I mean, you're seeing this new store, Liddy, which is a German discount grocery store. They just came to America. I think they're in Aldi, or the same company. For some people, the economic fallout out of 2008 never went away. Oh. Okay. So there's so many things. And going back to healthcare, I'm going to give you a little tip. I was in healthcare the first time healthcare reform was enacted with Bill and Hillary Clinton. Let me tell you what happened to us. We didn't get raises for 3 years. I saw nurses get laid off. That's coming back. I saw they send, a census. The hospital has something called a census. So if there's not enough people in the hospital and they don't need you, they just send your ass home. You have no choice in the matter. Also, whatever version of this death bill they're going to push through, it is going to devastate rural area medical centers, because you hear this number that healthcare is like 6% of the GDP. Okay. Well, some of these rural medical centers are like 30 to 40% of that town's GDP. Now imagine what's going to happen when that gets hit, and then nurses get laid off. They don't have money to rent. They move out. It's a nasty chain of events. I sent out an announcement email, but oh yeah, let's talk about the group. I'm starting a new Facebook group. I know, no, yeah, I'm a hypocrite because I said I'll never do it again. But with Hustle Camp, people are going to have to do stuff. And the reality is there's just more people who are going to participate on Facebook than anywhere else. So the group's formed, and it's not going to, I don't know how big it's going to be. I'm not going to put a limit on it, but essentially we're going to be talking about this stuff every day. Now, the first week is Mind of a Hustler, and we're going to talk about saving, not investing. Okay. You got $500 extra at the end of the month. You could do some long-term investing, put some money away for when, 30, 40 years from now. That fine, go ahead and get your 401k, hook that up. But we're going to talk about earning. We're going to talk about increasing your income. We're going to talk about 3 streams of revenue. We're not going to be talking about all this other stuff, because once, it's going to be hard. 2, it's going to be slow. It's not going to be overnight stuff. That's why it's like, we'll see how many people pop in this group. Let's see. No, the thrift store is not obsolete at all. XZ Zandrian, have you ever noticed when the Depression happened, we had guys on trucks who would drive out into the fields and pick up 30 guys out of thousands? Now we have third-party groups that do that now. Oh, yeah. All right, and that's something else we're going to talk about, too. By going ahead now, because like I said, I figure we got 18 to 22 months. Hopefully, it could happen faster. Get yourself balanced out. Get your hustle. Make sure, see, the hustle is not a business. The hustle is you're creating a job for yourself, because there's no job out there for you. I didn't think that I could get a job that would pay me what I was worth, so I created my own. Close was the furniture business, but that was stressful. But we're going to position you, get you straight, get you set up through some structure. I mean, this is going to be easy. It's going to be very, very hard. So when the downturn happens, you are cash positive, and you can go out and get more. When this thing's probably, if it's going to be as ugly as I think it will be, you'll be able to buy houses for 10 G's cash. Now think about that. Now let's just say you don't have millions. Let's just say you got $50,000, right? And then you are willing to make the moves where you go to somewhere where you can get you 5 houses for 50 G's. Live in one, rent the other ones out, even at $600-700 a month, 4 houses, it's $2,400. And the house you live in is paid off. Then as the economy bounces back up, your prices go back up, the houses go up to 130, 140. Not too far from where I'm sitting, there was a house, Benton Woods. It went for $245, 2011. Everything on that street now is selling for $550 to $600. So get your money right now. Don't wait until, because if you don't have the cash when this thing hits, you're gonna be left behind. I think so. State of Kentucky. Around the Stalker, urgent care facilities are popping up and charging hospital prices. Drive-through style quality is debatable. I'm going to do on my other channel a full thing about healthcare, because I already see where that's going. Rudy Dog, I'm a barber. I'm about to rent my own barber suite, basically my little shop. I drive for Lyft currently. What kinds of things can I sell in a barber shop or any additional hustles? You would have to join Hustle Camp and we could discuss that, because here's another thing, and that's really a good question, but questions like that need dialogue. And it's just not, it's just me. But in a group setting with boot camps, we can have those dialogues. So if you want to be part of that experience, Hustlers Camp, all the links and stuff are below. What's up? That's funny, JC. Robert, the best thing we can do is focus on growth. Which hustle sector is best positioned for growth? Here's a little secret. If you are cash positive, you're not over leveraged or leveraged at all, it doesn't matter. Everyone heard of Waffle House, right? They're a pretty cash positive business. They ain't closed one location during the recession. They actually opened up more. Home Depot, they had a good balance sheet. They opened up more. Lowe's. So it doesn't matter if what business you're in. It matters how in debt your business is. Let's take Whole Foods, which is considered like to be a luxury brand, right? They were over leveraged, which is what, because I looked at the work. They could not do a stock swap because Whole Foods had debt that had to be paid off. So Amazon bought them for probably pennies on the dollar, because Whole Foods was supposed to not be 400 stores. It was supposed to be 1,600 stores. But they ran into some financing problems. So it just thinks, all right. Dwayne, everything's below. You have $99. There will be T-shirts this time. It's gonna be really simple. You get your own Hustle Camp swag. $99, $199, $299, or $900. All of the stuff's below, because I actually wrote it out, because I know people are going to want to read and ask questions. Yeah, the group's going to be part of Hustle Camp. If you know anything about Facebook, you cannot have a Facebook group and charge for it. It must be part of something else. So, Broderick, I know so many people who bought up real estate last time. Things crashed. I don't want to miss the boat again. That's what I'm saying. You got to get right now. Yes, Volvo is going to go all electric. Oh yeah, I mean, like Gabran's talking about, he's in 30 days, 2,500. Like, here's the deal for those who want to know. You go ahead and get the boot camps. You're not going to really get much anything except add it to the Facebook group. But if you go in at the 199 level, you get courses you can start on today. You go into 299 level, you get courses you can start today. You go at the $900 level, you get courses you can start today. So that's the thing. It just really depends, because balancing out is, and we're going to talk about credit, because I need to do this on Facebook, but I'm going to do it here. I got an audit by my bank last week. Anybody gander to take a guess why I got an audit? Just take a wild guess. I was in the manager's office for about 20 minutes answering a bunch of questions like I was a high schooler or a toddler. Just take a wild guess. Anyway, Matt, I don't have anything. Give y'all these bullets. They're good. One is a hollow point. Another one, I use these for practice rounds. And for anyone that's interested, let's test this cameras. Let's see. Nope, it's just not too shiny. But they're 45 caliber. I'm a 45 caliber, 45 ACP kind of guy, and a 40 caliber kind of guy. Nobody's gonna guess. Okay, I'll tell you. I started a new business, set up the LLC, set up the parent companies, and all that other stuff. And I had 4 clients at the time, and I was running a lot of money through there. Then I rented not one but 2 offices, hired a bunch of people, bought a bunch of equipment. So I had a lot of money going in, and a lot of money going out. And they was just like, well, there was some of these cash transactions and some of this other stuff. I was just sitting there like, I've started business before, and I've actually spent more money. I've never been asked those questions. Your opportunity to be a business owner is changing. This new thing with banking is a trip. So one of the things we're going to talk about is things you need to do, things to avoid. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't that. Nope. It is because of the new Patriot Act. Well, Catherine, this thing, I would put in quite a bit the first of the month, right? Then I would shift stuff out and I move stuff around and I would take it out. And they were just like, really, essentially, this is what my manager said after the end of the audit and answer all the questions, because she had like paper printed up. She had to annotate it and send it somewhere. And then, we talked. You say, okay, because I know you, I know what you're doing. You're good. A lot of people don't make money. When I exploded my growth on eBay, I ran into problems with eBay and PayPal. Not so much with Amazon. We really didn't sell that much on Amazon. When I exploded my growth on Craigslist, I ran into problems. I got haters. I had folks knocking down my ads. When I exploded my sales on YouTube, I had people doing 3-4 fucking hour hangouts over me versus working on their damn business. Essentially, as my banker confirmed, I said, look, how many people who are business owners who come in there? And she just went through a whole spiel, and she was just like, people come here for a business loan, and then when we look at their tax returns, they've expensed everything out and they only make 50, but they're telling me they do 250. A lot of people are not making money. And you will see it, because look at how many of you, these internet personalities, how many of them talk about these things where their bank came and audited them because they were making too much money or moving too much money around. They don't have these kind of problems because they ain't making no fucking money. They ain't making no fucking money. Oh no, I actually took out more than that and got a CD. That was interesting. No, Fahita, it wasn't because I was black. I know someone else that went through something else. Demetrius, would you collaborate with Dame Dash? No, I would not collaborate with anyone. Okay, let's talk about this whole vision thing. All right, we get started this summer, right? We get people balanced out. We get proper education. I got a client who, before we really started rolling, I said, look, you need to do two things. You need to get a massage every week, and you need to start meditating because this shit's going to get stressful. Now, I say that kind of offhandedly, but many entrepreneurs have no clue to what's coming. I know what's coming. There's certain things that I do, self-care, walking in the morning, going to the gym. These things are really important because you could literally burn out or get sick. And these are the things that we'll be talking about, getting you balanced out in Hustle Camp. And part of that is I want to do my own thing, because once you start partnering with people, and this is something I saw a long, long time ago, shit gets complicated. I'll give you an example. Storage auction business, I was kind of partnering with Snowball and a few other people, and there was units that I wanted, but I knew that if I went ahead on them, then next 3 months, everything I buy is going to be expensive. So there was a few people who kept their agreements, and I kept my agreements, and that was because of partnering, or collusion, as it's called in the bidding world. I don't want to do that shit anymore. I'm going to run this thing the way that I want to run it, and it's going to be very different, because the thing is, I can tell you guys the truth and not have to worry about impacting someone's downline or I don't have to worry about that stuff. So no. Dave's funny. Julia, what do you mean from Wonderland? PayPal? Yes, you can use PayPal to pay for Hustle Camp. Robert, how do you keep your profile protected and avoid competitor hate, false takedowns? I am not a big fish. I got haters, but they're mostly hotel people. I don't really have, no one's really coming for me because I'm kind of under the radar, because there's just a lot of things that I've done. How can I say this? This kind of goes back to the conversation with the bank. I actually make real money to do what I do without the help of other people. So it's allowed me to go under the radar. There's a lot of folks that don't know me in the business. I go to events. Nobody knows me. And at first I was kind of like, hey, I need to be well known. Then I started to examine what they were doing. I created a book and put it on my blog, urbanpackrat.com, and made money to live on with no paid traffic, no affiliates, none of that stuff. And I go out and meet these guys, and I talk to them. And, after the event, people kind of sit down, let their hair down. And I didn't want to do what they were doing. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing that makes me happy. But generally, nobody's coming for me. I mean, really. So, and I swim in a different pool, ocean. So let's see. And see, hold on, let me go through here. Oh, it was crazy. Because here's the thing with the banking. It's due to, quote, the Patriot Act and the Protect Us. And I told my bank, this shit ain't protecting us. They just keep track of it. She just nod their head. Lamar, why do you keep asking about college? You know what's funny? I dropped out of college, but everyone that works for me has a degree. Think about that. And I'm not throwing shade. You do have excess. You just got to go ahead and roll through them. Yeah, I mean, you got to have some self care. Where I live, I noticed an increase in commercial lease signs. That is a huge sign. Okay, because commercial property is a whole different animal compared to residential. And when you start seeing a bunch of warehouses, that's one of the things I noticed. I was able, because when we moved in that warehouse, we moved into like 3,000 square feet, and it was a sublet. Then we were able to get more space because companies were moving out. So if you're seeing a bunch of empty warehouses, because you got to understand how logistics work. The big companies, they got most of the business. I know everyone's like, Amazon, Amazon. All right. 9% of all commerce is done online. Amazon has half, which is an incredible accomplishment. But the other 90-some percent is done out here. So when you start to see moves of companies getting rid of warehouse space, when you start to see people changing up the game, that's letting you know that something has happened to their revenue and they're contracting. Let's see. Let's go here. Excedrin, has anyone ever prompted you to be in them? I get that shit all the time. I'm not investing in stuff. All right, let's talk about this. This is a really good thing. All right, I'm not building a business to flip. Everyone wants to build a business to flip and exit. You got to understand how the GC thing works, or the VC, venture capitalists. They find a business. Hopefully, it can scale fast enough within a 3 to 5 year window that they can sell it or go public, so they can get their money and the juicy profit back. Everyone's trying to build a business on that template. It's not going to happen. And I got my own businesses, so I just don't see the need to invest in anything else. I mean, it could be. I think it's sexy. I think becoming an entrepreneur has become a sport. And then, just like there's Odom Beckham Jr. and there's like whoever. You got certain people who are occupying those spaces, but real basics of business are pretty mundane. What's up, Jacob? I don't have a typical day. I am just run to. See, that's another thing. When you're starting a business, right? There is no such thing as a typical day. You go in, and then if you have fires, it can. Let's give you an example. I had a day planned, right? And I had one client call me. He was going through a divorce, and he had to do all kinds of shit. My whole day got rearranged. There is no typical day. That's the thing. You got to be like water, to use Asian philosophy. You must just go where you got to go. Marcellus T. Question: if I'm hustling, can I use PayPal to accept payments until I start a business? Of course. You could. Well, here's the thing. You could set up a merchant account right now. It just depends. Once again, Hustle Camp. We'll be talking about that stuff, because here's the thing. The things that you need to do, the things that you need to know, you're not going to get it in a 5-minute conversation. It's going to be, this, like I said, Hustle Camp is going to be a very different kind of camp. And we're just going to talk about things in a logical and progressional order. Like, before you get the bank account, before you get the LLC, you need to make some money. You need to get some money. Everyone's like trying to do all the soft shit that can be done, like get your LLC, get your EIN, open up your bank account. Whee! Where's the money? Get the money first. I had someone who sent me a long email like, well, I liked what your ad on Facebook's, not Facebook, but Craigslist said, But I was a little concerned you don't have a website and you just got like this static page, and I just don't have a lot of confidence. And, I saw your YouTube channel and I was like, do. You're right. I'm too busy making money to put up a web page, but hey, good luck in your future endeavors. People are caught up on appearances versus activity. Fuck appearances, get busy. It's funny. Uber's a good hustle. Many people disagree with me. Now, Irvin, you're a man with a plan. How about using Uber for a hustle? I work at a hospital to pay my bills, so I would like to start making $1,500 to $200 a week, which is $600 to $800 additional income a month. If you can go ahead and create your hustle and hold on to the money, do not absorb the money into your lifestyle, you could do amazing things. Oh, Rudy, how to circumvent Craigslist haters? They flag my haircut post. In Hustle Camp, I will give you my Craigslist marketing plan. It's pretty intense, but I was listing 100 things a day on Craigslist. I got haters. Well, here's the thing. My listings had a certain look and feel, so people knew it was me. And people would like hate. And I had I mean, I can't like explain it to you without doing a tutorial, because this is one of the things that gets people in trouble. It's simple, okay? But the execution is complicated because you got to do it every day. What's up, Chris? We just started Roosting's remodeling. That's funny. After Kim, what do you do about loneliness? This journey is very lonely. I'm not lonely. I don't bring my personal life on my Facebook page and stuff, but I'm not alone. As a man, you got to make a choice. You can either get in a relationship or you can sample all of the flowers out there, right? I made a decision. I have a pretty boring personal life. Not shit really happens, and I like it that way. So no, part of that, and I don't know, I didn't throw in disruptive mating, but essentially, if you're a dude, you got to find somebody who is not super needy, because you're married to your business in the beginning, and you got to find somebody that'll just be there when you want to hang out. Typically, it's easier said than most people think it is. What if it's a non-profit business? Would that make you more inclined? Nope. I am not a hater or a fan of nonprofit. I stay away from nonprofit. Miss Stacks, Glenn stay dropping the knowledge. His ass think he's smart. Irvin, Glenn, fuck how it looks, how it works. Yeah, I give you a prime example of this. This happened years ago. I had bought this unit that had all of these Indian handmade rugs. They were nice, full of them. And I found this shop on Peachtree, and I go in, and the guy and when I showed him one of the rugs, this is what he did. His eyes popped. So he knew what it was. And he says, "Oh, you'll have more?" I said, "I got a van full." So we worked out a deal. Unit cost me $10. And he was just, "Oh, I don't know. I need to look at them." So I'm in the van, and I'm like, "Look, dude, I'm not going to bring all of these rugs out. You saw the product. We work some numbers, we'll move them in and you can examine it. If something's wrong, I'll give you some money back." He said, "Oh, I can't give you money. I have to write you a check." So dude took a photocopy of my driver's license, picture of my van, and he wrote me, $28,000 check. So I'm loading this stuff, right? And I got a shirt with a hole, like somewhere like this. I'm in Humpty, the Ford E250, which has a dent in it and no air AC. And there's these girls walking around. They're looking at me and they turn their nose up at me. And I just laugh. And they're like, "What are you laughing about?" I was like, "I could buy and sell all of y'all. But I got better. I got a girl, so none of y'all compare, right?" And then that turned into a little rah-rah shit. But they were pretty much throwing shade. Yet I was making money. but I didn't look like I was making money because of the false thing is if you're making money, you're wearing a suit. You know how many dudes I know who wear suits who live with their mama? You are, Tony. Um, I'm not gonna turn this a political thing, but that will be a possibility for some cities. Melissa, yes, I'm still working on money and making regular sales. At times, I still go days with no sales. See, that's another thing we're going to work on the hustle camp. You got to get sales every day. Chris, rent a cutted, buddy. Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing. There's a progression to, like, Rudy Dog. You want to do Craigslist. You want to do your barbershop. There's a process. It's a marketing process, and it's a sales process, and it's a customer retention process. There's so many things you can do as a barber that's mind-boggling that a lot of barbers don't do. But it's a matter of, like I said, none of this stuff is like super complicated. The trick is you got to execute over and over and over. And on days you don't feel like executing, you still got to execute. That's where the money is. That's right there where the money is. Oh, I got a girlfriend. I was talking about keeping up with friends. As you grow as a person, your friends are going to change. Once again, the guy we were talking about that, it's like, all his new people get him and all folks who know him for years, they shitting on him. Actually, they were. I can't lie. They were. It was interesting. But balancing out is sitting down and really thinking. And we're going to talk about goals. 5-year goals, 10-year goals, 15-year goals. My first goal was, you know what my goal was when I started this YouTube channel? It was write that book and make $50,000 in a year. And I gave myself 24 months to do it. I was using my own money to live on while I chase my dream. So the stuff that I'm telling you guys what you got to do, I did before I started chasing my dream. I did not try to do the story. I mean, seriously, I couldn't have did the storage auction business the way I was doing it. And I was writing every day, but I was writing copy. I was writing ads. I was writing Craigslist ads. I was writing eBay ads. I was writing ads. I was writing every day. I just wasn't writing the kind of stuff that I want to write. But you got to get yourself a template. You got to get yourself some goals. And you're going to have to understand that as you grow, you're going to grow apart from people you care about. And you don't have to cast them aside. It's just you'll hang out at the cookout. You'll hang out at the party. But you're not going to really talk to them day to day because you don't have a lot in common anymore. Matthew Kim, I lost 90% of my friends because of the victim mentality they hold or I used to hold. I eventually find friends, but I'm working on myself. Here's a tip. And you will be actually, because there's some people I knew. I'll just do this while I am thinking about it. Because let's see. Because I'm doing what? I'm going to add Matthew in there right now. Because like I said, I don't know how many people are going to be in Hustle Camp, but it's going to be fun. I promise you that. It's going to be hilarious. All right. Where's my group? Okay. That was crazy. So let me find Matthew, because you will be in Hustle Camp. This is going to be wild. I'm going to be putting all kinds of stuff in here. And I'm going to email. I don't know, because I think it's just best to have people who are. All right, so there's 4 people in Hustle Camp right now. I have to check and see if there's anybody else who bought anything and put them in. And so we're with the stream. We are, okay, cool, because I'm going to go to dinner in a little bit. But, I mean, the big thing is you got to balance out because you're human. You're not a machine. And, I know work, 12, 16 hours a day. I think everyone can do that for a spell. But I don't think that you should be doing that for years and years and years. Maybe a year or 2, you can do that. Then you should put systems in place. Because one of the things we're going to do is we're going to identify what is a hustle and what's a business. And there's a lot of It's a lot of misclassification because you drive for Uber, you're hustling. It's not a business unless you go out and buy 6 cars, hire other Uber drivers. And here's another thing with these apps that's very, very challenging to get around. People are loyal to the app. They're not loyal to you. They're loyal to eBay. They're loyal to Amazon. They're loyal to Uber. It's very hard for you to pull them out. Chris McDonald, when the economy tumbles, you guys will have women popping up everywhere. Same for the women who want attractive dudes. Truth. Because here's this is the thing that scares me. And I'm being serious. I'm not being facetious. I recently bought 2 guns and I'm getting ready to buy an AR-15. Because what I feel, because I see it, crime, that's another stat. Crime is going up. There was an armed robbery at my bank. There was an armed robbery at the AT&T store, which is like a mile away. They robbed a cell phone store. A woman robbed a bank. Crime is going up. Crime normally goes up in the summer because kids are out of school, but these aren't kids who are doing these crimes. These are adults. Yeah, I tried to use it. It didn't work. Irvin Thomas, I'll pay the price for freedom. I can see it in people's faces that working and retiring isn't the way to go. Retirement is a really interesting because here's something else too. And I'll get into this deeper later. Everything you hear with healthcare, there's another thing you don't hear. Within our lifetimes, the next 20 to 30 years, they're going to be able to take some of your stem cells and regrow one of your organs. I know it sounds crazy, fantastical. And the people who are going to get 150, 200 years are going to be people with money who can renew their body parts. I know it sounds crazy, right? That's happening. So we got people who are living to be 80, 90 consistently. That's going to probably creep up for those with money or who take care of themselves because, it doesn't really take a lot of money to take care of yourself. Preventive measures are better. And you're going to have people like 115, 120. So you retire at 50 and do nothing? No, that's not going to happen. People are going to be engaged. So normal retirement's been out the way. Let's see. Do you think you should use hustle money and pay down your debt faster? Really depends. This is how Hustle Cap's gonna run. We're gonna have dedicated classes. There's some classes that are already done, and we're gonna have tutorials because what you have to do for your situation is look at what kind of debt do you have. Let's say you have student loans and you got like $40,000 worth of student loans. So do you take your hustle money, which is like anywhere from $500 to maybe $4,000 a month to pay that off, or do you take that hustle money and invest it in your hustle and make more hustle money? You got to ask yourself those kind of questions because sometimes paying something off like that, especially if the interest rate is like nothing, is not a good move. So it takes more examination, and that's the reason for the group. You can put your stuff out there. We could talk about it. We could chop it up, stuff like that. So it's going to be crazy, and you're going to need some money. You're going to need some money to replace your body parts, baby. You're going to need some money. So we're going to have my girl disagrees with me, but we're going to have a 2-system healthcare. We're going to have some form of nationalized healthcare. It's going to come sooner or later. And then we're going to have the better insurance that people with money will be able to afford. And it's going to be very, very different. Very, very different. All right, I got one bar, so I'm going to have to dip in a minute. For those of you who want to be part of Hustle Camp, starts July 11th. Facebook group's up, and we'll be adding folks in there. And you can start classes today if you buy the $199 package, the $299 package, or the $900 package. Then we'll be having live. They will not be on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, YouTube. We'll be having regular webinars. We'll have tutorials. Just things that I could probably do in an hour and a half, and that'll be it. And then they'll be added to Hustle Camp, which is a course. It'll be I got a slot on Hustlers Kung Fu life skills for it. And there's going to be a lot of information, but it's going to be a progressive thing. It's like, do this thing first, then do this thing, then do this thing. Don't go out and get your LLC and your business bank account and your business card so you can pass it out because it makes you feel good about yourself. Don't do that shit. Actually go out and, hey, I want to sell you something. Do that shit. When I worked for UPS, I dropped off things to small businesses. He told me he was the laziest man alive, and if you want money, build a system, the money would come. That's the thing, because here's the thing about balancing out. And once again, the link's below for everyone that wants to participate in Hustle Camp. I'm going to balance because this thing may cut off on me. You need to get yourself straight to have money to then begin to build that business system, because it's going to cost money. I have no problem telling you I've dropped 150 G's on Mac Daddy Media in the last 4 months. 150 G's. And it's not making money. It was making money before I decided to really grow it, but now it's not making money because of things I'm doing. So employees, renting spots, buying equipment, trips. So I'm just letting you know. All right, so once again, everybody that wants Hustle Camp, go below, hit those links. And for those of you who get additional things, we'll add you within 24 to 48 hours. So we'll just say thanks for coming out this Sunday. And I guess I will be seeing some of you next week in the Facebook group. Once again, it's going to start July 11th. Tomorrow's the 10th, so that's Tuesday. All right, be sure to like in this video when it renders and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I will catch you guys later. Peace out.